Are you too humble for your own good? Have you been whispering your desires to the universe when the divine is asking you to speak them boldly, firmly, as if you know they're already yours? So many souls walk the earth quietly hoping for a little miracle, when the law is inviting them to claim a mountain. This is not arrogance, dear one. It is audacity, spiritual audacity, a holy boldness, a fearless faith, a powerful decree that says, all that is mine by divine right now rushes to me in avalanches of abundance. This is not a suggestion. It is a challenge, a sacred invitation to stop playing small and step fully into your inheritance. I say to you, join me now, in what I call the Spiritual Audacity Challenge, a 3-day practice to stop shrinking and start demanding what is rightfully yours. Yes, you heard Meg, demand it. For what is yours by divine law does not come through begging or worry. It comes through the unwavering vibration of faith and the fearless declaration of truth. So, are you ready to stretch? Are you ready to claim? Let today be day one. And today, we begin not by begging for what we think we deserve, but by boldly writing down what we truly want. Not what's realistic, not what's safe, but what makes the heart flutter and the soul leap. What would you ask for if you knew you could not fail? If the angels were already dispatching your blessings the moment you spoke? I tell you now, they are. And the universe does not laugh at your boldness, it applauds it. What if I told you that the thing you've been afraid to speak aloud is the very thing the divine has already prepared for you? Write it down now. Your audacious ask. Is it a 6-figure contract? Is it a home near the ocean? Is it total debt freedom? Write it as though it has already been granted. Say it aloud. This or something better now manifests for me, under grace, in perfect ways. The law does not care about size. It only responds to clarity, certainty, and vibration. Your fear does not block your good. Your hesitation does. So let's loosen that hesitation. Let's speak your desire boldly. Let's not tiptoe around the throne of grace. You have permission. You have authority. You have divine backing. There is power in your word. Say it with me now. I do not ask for scraps. I claim my kingdom. I do not plead for crumbs. I demand my feast. I do not shrink before the size of my dream. I expand my faith to match it. And yes, there will be a moment. Maybe tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Where the old voice returns. The one that says you've asked for too much. That it's not spiritual to want this. That you should be satisfied with less. But that voice is not your truth. It is not your source. It is the echo of lack, not the frequency of abundance. When it whispers, you answer it with truth. You say, I am one with the infinite spirit of opulence. I am a magnet for miracles. I walk in the vibration of answered prayers. That is your loop. Your new thought groove. And we repeat it until it becomes a second heartbeat, because repetition builds belief and belief bends reality. So today is not about playing small. It's about stepping into the vastness of who you are. A being made in the image of creation, sent here not to suffer, but to radiate, to receive, to reflect divine good. And let me remind you, no one else can do this part for you. You must take the pen. You must write the decree. You must speak the word, not later. Now, not someday. Today, day one. The audacious ask. And when you write it big. Bigger than you're used to. Bigger than what you've ever dared. Not because you are greedy, but because the universe is generous. Not because you are entitled, but because you are aligned. This is your spiritual inheritance. This is the divine law of expansion. The law does not contract. It only expands. And as you stretch your desire, you stretch your capacity. What you think is too big is often just the right size for the divine. So stretch, and write, and say, I am now ready for the unimaginable. I am now prepared for the miraculous. I am now a vibrational match to what I once only dreamed. This is your moment. Don't whisper it. Declare it. Say it so the heavens hear you. Say it until your fear melts and your soul rises. Say it like you mean it, because you do. Say it because it's already on its way. This is not just a wish. It is a spiritual law. You are not just a seeker. You are a creator, and your word is your wand. So speak it, and let the magic unfold. And now that we've opened the gates of truth on day one and spoken our audacious decree, we move into the sacred territory of day two, where spiritual boldness must translate into action, for words alone are not enough unless backed by movement that says to the universe, I mean what I've spoken. Because the moment you declare you're good, the law begins arranging it. But the law is activated in fullness when you act like it's already yours. So today I ask you, what would the version of you who already has what you desire do today? How would they walk, speak, breathe, or respond? What would they stop tolerating? And what would they embrace without hesitation? Florence Scovel Shinn declared, You must prepare for the thing you have asked for, though you see no sign of it. And that preparation is not a burden. It is a privilege, for when you prepare for something you cannot yet see, you are walking by faith and not by fear, and you begin sending a signal to life that you are already the vibration of your answered prayer. So I ask you today, can you clean the corner of your home where your success will bloom? Can you clear your schedule just a little to make room for what's coming? Can you smile at a stranger knowing you're practicing the kindness of the future you? Can you take one bold, even awkward step toward your dream? Not because everything is lined up perfectly, but because you are aligned inwardly with the truth that everything is possible with divine law guiding you. This is your challenge today. To take aligned, brave, inspired action, even if it's just a single step, because your faith grows stronger when you live as if your vision is already real, and your subconscious begins to accept the truth as its dominant blueprint. For what you do declares more loudly than what you say, and your behavior tells your belief story. So let today's behavior reflect a belief in breakthroughs, not breakdowns, in miracles, not mayhem, in doors flinging open, not closing shut. And I tell you this because I know the law cannot fail you. It is impartial and consistent, and the only ingredient it waits on is your alignment. And so day 2 is about declaring through action, even before the manifestation has shown itself. Just as Noah built the ark before the first drop of rain ever fell, so must you begin building your vision with full confidence that what you've asked for is on its way, not in ego but in expectancy, not in grasping but in gratitude. Because the moment you start preparing your life for the blessing, you are pulling it into your present faster than any force of resistance can stop it. So if you are asking for love, then become love today. Speak gently, forgive freely, be open-hearted, make your space ready for companionship. Release bitterness like dead weight and open your windows wide. If you are asking for abundance, then speak wealth into every step. Stop speaking of what you lack and start blessing what is present. Clean your wallet, bless your current job or project or client. Speak as if money flows to you freely, under grace, in perfect ways. If you are asking for clarity, then sit in silence today and listen, not with desperation but with trust. Take a notebook, journal what you know is already within you, because the answers you seek are not hiding from you. They're rising within you when you stop flooding your mind with doubt, and this is where the real power lies, in embodying before you're seeing, in celebrating before it's confirmed, in trusting before it makes sense, and in taking actions that feel audacious because they say to the universe, I expect the best, I accept the best, I am already walking in it. And let me remind you of what Florence taught. The walls of lack and delay crumble before a man's steadfast faith. So you do not need to see the full picture, only the next inspired action, and you take it not because everything is perfect but because you are perfectly willing to be led, to move, to honor the impulse of your intuition. And this is spiritual audacity, to walk when others wait, to believe when others panic, to trust when others tremble, to move toward the dream while others are still checking the weather. And in doing so you become the evidence of divine law in motion. The walking, breathing, living result of alignment, and every step you take today becomes a seed, and that seed multiplies, not by your might but by spiritual law. So do not worry how the harvest will come, just plant today's seed, and let the action be your praise. Let it be your statement of faith, let it be your yes to what is already yours, and don't let fear sabotage this sacred day by whispering, what if it doesn't work? You respond, what if it works better than I could ever imagine? And then keep walking. Because your decree was not a wish, it was a declaration. Your faith is not fragile, it is fire. Your path is not blocked, it is being carved by every courageous step you take. And remember, this is not the time to question, it's the time to move. It's not the moment to shrink, it's the moment to rise. Because when the universe sees motion, it responds with momentum. When it hears faith, it replies with favor. When it witnesses trust, it returns with treasures. And this is the loop you must hold in your heart today. I am no longer waiting. I am walking in it. I am no longer asking. I am allowing it. I am no longer doubting. I am demonstrating it. And so I tell you this with the full fire of Florence Scovel Shinn's bold spiriting. Today is the day you let your dream know you're serious, and serious doesn't mean hard or heavy. It means sacred, devoted, consistent, rooted, unshakable. And so your task is simple but profound. Do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. One small action. One step in the direction of your vision. And let it be joyful, let it be powerful, let it be bold. And tomorrow we rise again, taller, clearer, freer. Because spiritual audacity is not a one-time chant. It's a daily decision. And today you have chosen well. You see, spiritual audacity is not arrogance, it is alignment. Alignment with the law that already knows your worth, already sees your good, already declares your inheritance ready for release. When you walk into a room knowing the universe is your silent business partner, that's not pride. That's faith in action. Day 3 of our Spiritual Audacity Challenge is where we stretch that faith muscle into the unknown. And here is where most people hesitate, because giving when you're in need feels like madness. But remember this, I have said it time and time again, no man can lose anything that belongs to him by divine right. And what is given in faith is never lost, it is sown. This is the paradox of power. You give a little, and you receive a wave. You give in lack, and lack vanishes. You give not because you have extra, but because you believe supply cannot run dry. Are you willing to put that belief to the test? Because this is the moment where theory becomes trust, where words become life. Give something today. A coin, a bill, a kind word, an hour of your time. Not because you have plenty, but because you have aligned with the one who has infinite. I have always taught, cast your burden on the Christ within, and go free. So cast your doubt, cast your fear, cast the story that says you must hoard and hide. Give with joy and say, as I give I receive tenfold, as I sow I reap in gladness. What I give returns to me multiplied, pressed down, and running over. And you'll see the divine law snap into action, orchestrating details behind the veil. A forgotten check arrives, a debt is erased, a door you didn't know existed swings open. But first, you must step out in audacity, the kind of audacity that looks fear in the face and says, you have no power here. The kind that makes you saying, yes, I gave when I was down, and now I rise. And in rising, you light the path for others. This challenge is not just for you. It is for every soul watching your courage, feeling your shift, wondering what made you glow. So give, not out of pressure, but from power. Give not because you fear missing out, but because you are already full. This is the final day, but it is only the beginning. Use the tag of Spiritual Audacity and declare what you gave today. Let your act be a testimony. Let your seed be your signature on a divine agreement. And if you have hesitated, if your fingers trembled over that donation, that gesture, that outreach, know this, even the smallest act done in faith creates ripples in the unseen. Don't play small. You weren't made to shrink. You were born of divine boldness. And now it's your turn to live like it. So let's repeat together softly but surely. I demand my good. I expect miracles. I act in bold faith. And I am ready to receive. Again. I demand my good. I expect miracles. I act in bold faith. And I am ready to receive. Let these words walk with you today. Let them be your rhythm, your breath, your undercurrent. And as you give, remember you've already won. Spiritual audacity is your birthright. Now go out and wear it. And if your heart is still trembling with hesitation, if the idea of giving when your hands feel empty makes your soul shrink back, let me remind you, it is never the size of the gift that shifts the universe. It is the size of the faith behind it. This is not about how much you have. This is about how much you trust. A single coin given in fearless expectancy carries more spiritual weight than 1,000 given in doubt. Why? Because it's not the object. It's the vibration. It's the declaration behind the gesture. You are saying, no longer live under the law of fear. I am now governed by the law of divine supply. And the law, my dear, never fails. I have seen it too many times. A woman gives her last dollar with trembling hands, saying, this is my seed. And within days, opportunities find her. Friends bless her, and income appears from sources she never imagined. That's not a coincidence. That's a law in motion. That's the universe echoing back her boldness with divine echoes. And when you participate in that kind of giving in faith, not from surplus, you send a signal to every unseen force that you're serious about receiving. Spiritual audacity doesn't whisper quietly in the back of the room. No, it walks boldly to the front and says, that seat has my name on it. And it doesn't apologize. It doesn't shrink. It doesn't second guess. It knows. And when you give today, even if it's a single act of kindness, a prayer for someone you once resented, or a small donation given with full confidence, you are stamping your vibration with certainty. You are saying, I don't play small anymore. I don't beg. I don't plead. I align. I affirm. I act. And I receive. Let me tell you something vital. Giving is not just about money. Giving is the spiritual art of circulation. When you give peace, you receive peace. When you give hope, you feel hope grow in your chest. When you give forgiveness, you unlock blessings that were trapped behind bitterness. So don't limit yourself to a transaction. Give whatever you hold tightly, and do it with joy. If you've been holding back love, let it pour. If you've been keeping your gifts hidden, offer them today. If you've been guarding your time like it's under siege, carve a moment to serve. Why? Because stagnation breeds lack, but flow creates miracles. The divine current can't move through a clenched fist. Open your hands, your heart, your day, and watch how heaven moves to meet you. The world has trained you to grip and guard, but the Spirit teaches flow and freedom. And freedom, my dear, is your true nature. So today, as part of this final step in our Spiritual Audacity challenge, I want you to give boldly. And then I want you to expect. Expect with the unwavering faith of someone who knows that nothing given in divine love is ever lost. Expect as if the check is already in the mail, the call is already on its way, the solution is already stirring. Expect as if the universe is leaning in, ready to say, yes, I saw what you just did, and I will match it beyond measure. And then, as you walk through your day, hold your head high. You are not hoping. You are receiving. You are not testing. You are trusting. You are not wishing. You are welcoming. And in every moment you are tempted to doubt, go back to the decree we've planted together. I demand my good. I expect miracles. I act in bold faith, and I am ready to receive. Say it out loud. Say it in the mirror. Say it before you sleep. Say it until it no longer feels like a stretch, until it becomes your spiritual posture, your daily frequency. You were not born to merely survive, scraping and begging through life. You were born to radiate, to rise, to reveal the divine image through audacity. Audacity that declares, I am a child of divine wealth, and I live like it. Audacity that says, I trust the invisible more than I fear the visible. Audacity that gives not out of obligation, but out of inner knowing. And if someone asks you why you gave today, why you offered something when you had so little, tell them this. Because I believe in the law of multiplication. Because I believe the universe is good. Because I trust the unseen more than I trust my bank account. Because spiritual audacity is the most powerful currency I hold. And let your giving be a seed, not just for your own breakthrough, but for someone else to rise. You never know who's watching your courage. You never know who needs your example. And the moment you step out in faith, you become a walking invitation for others to do the same. So today, my dear, don't hold back, don't shrink, don't say, maybe next time. This is the moment. This is the stretch. This is the day you tell the universe, I am no longer afraid to participate in the flow. I give because I know who I am. I act because I know what's mine. I sow because I trust the law. This is the final stretch of our Spiritual Audacity challenge. But in truth, this is where the real game begins. You've discovered your desire. You've acted as if. And now you're releasing in faith. You've cracked the code. You've shifted your vibration. You've stepped out of smallness. So let this final action carry the full power of your new identity. Use the hashtag. Share your story. Tag someone who needs this light. And walk boldly, for you walk in divine partnership now. And I say again, because repetition is the rhythm of truth. You are not too humble for your good. You are not asking for too much. You are not demanding in vain. You are aligned with the infinite, and it is rushing to meet you. You've made it to day 4 of the Spiritual Audacity Challenge, and now, beloved, the momentum begins to build. This is where energy gathers, where the invisible takes shape, where the truth of your bold decree starts to echo through the ethers and touch the edges of manifestation. And if your heart has been doubting, let me be the calm in your storm. There is no such thing as too much to ask when you are asking from divine right. You are not being greedy. You are not being ungrateful. You are daring to believe that God can do all things, even that which seems laughable to others, even that which sounds too big, too fast, too far-fetched. But I ask you, who made the rules? Who said you have to crawl when your soul was built to soar? This is the day we speak to the mountain, not just pray at its feet. This is the moment we remind our doubts that they are no match for a mind anchored in spiritual law, because the law responds not to fear but to faith. Precise, audacious, unwavering faith. Your declaration from day 1, your action from day 2, your giving in faith from day 3. They were not just exercises, they were openings, doorways, invitations. The universe is now watching how serious you are, how consistent you are, how undeniable your energy has become. Today's challenge is simple but profound. Reinforce what you already declared. You must repeat your decree every hour, even if just in your mind. You must walk into every room, every space, every moment as if you are already the version of you who has received it. Not halfway. Not maybe. Not if it's meant to be. You walk as if it is done, because spiritually, it is done. What you decree in full faith is already yours. You are not asking from a place of lack. You are commanding from a place of divine partnership. You are not begging, you are building. You are not playing small anymore, you are claiming your inheritance as a child of the infinite. And you must know this deeply, beloved. When you show spiritual audacity, you do not push God away. You honor His abundance. When you walk in bold faith, you're not being too much, you're finally being true. You're finally aligning your words, your steps, and your energy with your own spiritual royalty. Every time you say, "My good now flows to me in avalanches of abundance," you are rewriting the script of fear. Every time you give thanks in advance for something not yet visible, you are unlocking the power of unseen substance. You are proving your trust. You are being audacious. And yes, the world might not understand it. They might call it delusion. But I will call it divine vision. Because you have seen what's possible, and now you live as though it is real. That, dear soul, is the power that parts red seas. That is the vibration that draws opportunities from unexpected directions. That is the frequency that opens doors you didn't even know existed. So today, every moment is a declaration. Every breath is a prayer. Every step is a vote for your dream. Walk in it, speak it, own it. Let no one convince you to shrink, to soften your request, to delay your destiny. Don't you dare make your light smaller so others feel comfortable. Let it blaze. Let it blaze like the sunrise over your darkest night. This is the audacity Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of when she said, "No man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher." And today, even your obstacles are your teachers. Even your delays are instructions. But you are the one with the authority to choose how you respond. Choose boldness. Choose unwavering certainty. Choose to keep going. You've come too far to turn around now. The gate is open. The path is lit. Your next step is faith in motion. And I say this with all my heart: keep walking.
Keep walking.
Keep speaking. Keep being the version of you who already has it. Because when you believe boldly, when you declare fiercely, when you act consistently, your good cannot help but rush to meet you. That's not just belief. It's spiritual law. So say it now, with Meg. What is mine by divine right now flows to me with ease. I do not shrink. I do not delay. I walk in audacity, and the universe responds in kind. And now, take a deep breath, beloved soul. You're no longer the one who asks. You are the one who knows. Let that knowing settle in your bones. Let it color your words. Let it shape your life, and never again apologize for walking in your power. This is your time. This is your calling. This is your bold return to the throne of spiritual certainty. Take it, own it, live it, and share this fire with another soul. Tag a friend, share the challenge, pass the torch. Let no one around you settle for crumbs when they were made for overflow. Use the hashtag Spiritual Audacity and remind the world what it means to believe with fire. This is day 5, beloved soul, and today we walk with our heads high, not because we are arrogant, but because we are anchored. Anchored in truth, anchored in spirit, anchored in the divine law that never fails, never forgets, never falters. By now, if you've followed each step, you've already begun to feel the shift. The inner trembling of something deep within you rising to the surface, something ancient and powerful that says, "I was never meant to live small." Today is the day that voice gets louder than every fear, every memory, every scar, and every voice that once said, "Who do you think you are?" Because today, you answering, "I am a spiritual being with divine authority, and I no longer seek permission to become what I already am." That is your identity now. Not the wound, not the weight, not the worry, but the winner. And not by struggle, but by spiritual law. Do you not see it yet? Every bold word you've spoken this week has already started sending signals through the ethers. Every declaration you've whispered has been picked up like a divine frequency. You may not see the full bloom yet, but the seed has cracked open. The roots are growing. The soil is warm. The unseen is moving. And so today's challenge is simple but sacred. It is to receive. Not to hustle, not to strive, but to sit still and receive. To let it come, to unclench the fist of control and say, "I trust you now." Can you do that? Can you believe with such audacity that you stop trying to make it happen and allow it to flow to you instead? This is the law of reversed effort. When you are so sure, so clear, so spiritually confident, you no longer chase, you attract, you magnetize. You embody the vibration of already having, and the law cannot resist embodiment. It must respond. Florence once said, "Faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly." And so today, your boldest move is to act accordingly, to celebrate before the outcome arrives, to prepare the table even if the guests haven't come, to give thanks as if the door is already open, because spiritually, it is. Everything you desire already exists on the unseen plane, and your faith is the hand that reaches into the invisible and brings it into form. So today, be still, and know. Today walk, and receive. Today, breathe, and allow. You are no longer in the vibration of waiting, you are now in the frequency of welcoming. That's the audacity most people miss. They think boldness is just loudness, just action, just effort. But true boldness is soft surrender. It's the faith to say, it's not my job to figure it out. It's my job to believe it's figured out. That, beloved, is the posture of power. That is when the tide turns. That is when the door swings open with no warning, and the very thing you dared to speak suddenly stands before you. And here's something even deeper. You don't have to be perfect to receive. You don't have to have done it all right. You don't need spotless faith or flawless words. You just need a willing heart and a bold mouth. That's it. You speak up, you stay open, and life responds. So say it again, one more time, like you mean it. I am now in perfect alignment with all that is mine by divine right. I do not strive, I receive. I do not chase, I magnetize. I do not beg, I believe. Let that wash over you. Let that become your atmosphere. Let it shape the way you walk into a room, the way you open your phone, the way you speak to yourself in the quiet moments. And when doubt whispers, as it sometimes will, you look it in the face and say, not today. I know who I am now. You've come too far to turn around. You've built too much momentum to retreat. And now, the law is circling back with multiplied blessings, perfect timing, and unexpected answers. Will you open the door when it knocks? Will you receive with grace and no guilt? Will you allow yourself to be blessed publicly after waiting quietly for so long? Yes, that is your assignment today. Receive without apology. Celebrate without evidence. Rest in spiritual certainty. This is your moment. This is your reward. And this is your next level of spiritual audacity. Trusting so deeply that you no longer need to see it to feel it. You are walking as if, talking as if, loving as if, serving as if, because your faith has made it real. And I say this with all the love in my soul, there is nothing wrong with you. You have not missed your chance. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to receive exactly what is yours. So stay there, breathe there, let it come. And then, once it arrives, once the door opens, once the miracle unfolds, don't forget what got you here. It wasn't striving. It wasn't control. It was spiritual audacity. It was your bold word. It was your unshakable belief. It was your willingness to speak what others were afraid to think. So walk in your answered prayer. Rest in your new reality and pass this on to someone still doubting, still shrinking, still apologizing for wanting more. Remind them what's possible when they stop begging and start believing. Share the fire. Spread the word. Use the hashtag spiritual audacity and let this movement ripple into every heart that needs it. We are rewriting the story, one bold decree at a time. And you, dear soul, are part of that awakening. So keep going, keep receiving, keep radiating. The law is working, even now. Day 6, beloved, and today you step into sacred mastery, no longer just asking, acting, or receiving, but becoming the embodiment of audacious faith, walking in your identity as a sovereign child of divine supply, unwavering in your posture, unstoppable in your peace. You have declared your dream, acted on it, given in bold faith, reinforced the decree, received powerfully. And now you hold it all steady, not in effort, but in effortless alignment. This day is not about doing more. It is about being more in your spiritual posture. Imagine your soul as a throne, and you as the ruler who sits there not because things are perfect, but because the divine has crowned you in peace. This is audacity refined, not noisy, not frantic, but dignified, calm, radiant, unshaken. You no longer chase the dream, you are the dream. Now you circulate your energy from a place of fullness, not fear, from integrity, not insecurity. You are rooted in spiritual certainty. You know you are supported, sustained, and sovereign. Today's practice is simple but radical. Live in joyful sovereignty. Keep your heart light, your mind clear, your spirit soft, but your decree firm. Speak your affirmation 3 times before breakfast, 3 times at midday, 3 times before rest. Let it beg. I am a living channel of divine audacity. All good flows to me freely, under grace, in perfect ways. Walk your day as though the universe is your silent business partner, because it is. When doubt tries to whisper, you answer not with argument, but with remembrance. I have spoken the word. I have acted, given. I have received. Now I am. And so it is. When opportunity comes, you accept with grace. When resistance knocks, you stand firm in peace. You no longer react to crisis. You respond from authority. You do not shrink in the presence of challenges. You smile and say, my good is on its way under grace. This is the energy Florence lived, big, fierce yet kind, bold yet peaceful, audacious yet anchored. She taught that there is no spiritual virtue in trembling. Her message was always, claim your good, speak your word. So today, amidst ordinary routines, make yourself sacred. Let your lunch break feel like communion with the infinite. Let your commute be a sermon of peace. Let your interactions become prayer, because spiritual audacity is not something for later. It is now. Your sovereignty, your identity, your affirmation, they aren't temporary tools. They are permanent expressions of your nature. And when you walk in this identity, life begins to rearrange itself. Doors open, people show up, resources flow, all because you are no longer playing deferential. You are commanding your peace. But let me remind you gracefully, mastery does not mean perfection. It does mean perseverance. If fear creeps back in, repeat the cycle. Speak again, give again, receive again, reset your posture, reclaim your throne. And know each time you do, you strengthen the spiritual muscles that bend reality. Each time you affirm, you shift the unseen blueprint. Each time you resist shrinking, you expand your territory in the invisible realm. And each small recommitment carries you deeper into your bold inheritance. So today, beloved, wear your audacity like a crown, not loud but luminous, not domineering, but dignified, not broken, but beautiful. You are held. You are known. You are meant for this moment. And when tomorrow arrives, whether or not the visible has changed, you will still be unshaken. Because your foundation is not in circumstance, but in Christ's spirit law that never fails. Continue breathing, continue affirming, continue embodying, continue being the living embodiment of spiritual audacity. This is no longer just a challenge. It is your way. You are now teaching the world how to rise through presence, not pressure, through alignment, not ambition. You show others what it looks like to claim the throne quietly, confidently, eternally. Use the hashtag. Share your journey. Tag a friend who is still shrinking when they could be shining. Let your life be the proof of audacious faith. And remember, the law is working, even when you don't see it, because the law is powered by your faith, not by your vision. And now, dear one, we come to the final breath of this divine journey. Not an ending, but a beginning clothed in deeper truth. You have not merely completed a challenge. You have activated a law that now moves through your life with precision, grace, and miraculous ease. This moment is not applause. It is an awakening. You are no longer who you were on day one. You are a living channel of fearless faith. You speak and the universe listens. You give and it multiplies. You receive and it overflows. You walk and doors open before your feet even arrive. The invisible has shifted because you shifted. And that is the true audacity. Trusting what is unseen more than what is loud. You dared to speak where you used to stay silent. You dared to expect joy instead of bracing for disappointment. You dared to give from faith instead of guarding from fear. You dared to become the very thing you used to wait for. You stopped chasing miracles and started embodying them. And that, beloved, is how the divine multiplies itself through you, quietly, boldly, infinitely. Today we do not say goodbye. We say, amen, and onward. The challenge may end, but the shift is permanent. From this moment forward, every word you speak will be a wand. Every action you take will be a seed. Every delay will be divine redirection. Every no will be a sacred filter. Every closed door will be the voice of protection. You no longer panic, you pause. You no longer worry, you worship. You no longer doubt, you declare. You no longer beg, you embody. You have crossed the line between hoping for your highest good and commanding it through unwavering alignment with divine law. And this identity, it is not seasonal. It is eternal. You are now the person who moves from wisdom, not wounds. You speak light into darkness. You remind the atmosphere who you are. You honor your dreams not with rush, but with reverence. You live in rhythm with the law that says, nothing is too good to be true, nothing is too wonderful to happen, and nothing is too good to last. Let this become your daily rhythm. Speak the word, trust the law, walk in joy, act in faith, receive in peace. And now, beloved, I bless you with the deep peace of knowing you are never behind, never blocked, never too late. The gates of abundance are open wide. The blueprint of your life is already radiant, and the only task that remains is to align, to allow, to audaciously believe. You are ready. You are radiant. You are rising. So go forward, not as a seeker, but as a speaker of destiny. Your word is your wand. Your faith is your fuel. Your life is the proof. And it is already done. Under grace, in perfect ways. Amen. And now, beloved soul, breathe this moment in. This isn't just the end of a challenge. This is the unveiling of the truth you've carried all along. You have walked through the invisible corridor of transformation. You have spoken words that moved mountains in the unseen. You have planted seeds of faith that are already bearing fruit. And now you stand not as a student of the law, but as a living embodiment of it. You are no longer someone waiting for signs. You are the sign. You no longer ask if it will happen. You walk as though it already has. That is the real shift, the holy shift, the sacred courage that changes lives. Not through effort, but through alignment. You are no longer begging for breadcrumbs. You are dining at the table of divine inheritance. And you set that table with your words. Let me remind you, and let this sink deep into the core of your being, you did not complete this challenge. You became it. You became the decree, the act, the offering. Day by day, you peeled off layers of fear and remembered who you truly are. And here to the kingdom, a speaker of the word, a steward of the invisible. When you declared your audacious desire, the universe said, finally. When you acted as if, the heavens whispered, now you see. And when you gave in faith, you touched the heart of divine law and said, I believe even before I receive. That is no small thing. That is spiritual mastery. That is boldness in its highest, most sacred form. And now we loop this back one final time, not to repeat, but to reinforce. Every time you return to this truth, it goes deeper. Every time you speak the word, the roots of your faith grow stronger. Every time you give from overflow instead of fear, you become more magnetic. And every time you declare your good is already done, you collapse time, you shift timelines, you invite the miraculous. Why? Because divine law was never waiting on the right moment. It was waiting on the right mindset. And now you have it. You own it. You walk in it. You don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to chase or grasp or hustle. You are not a beggar in the spiritual world. You are royalty, and royalty does not knock on doors. They are announced. You are the announcement. You are the evidence. You are the miracle you used to wait for. And it all began the moment you took your eyes off circumstance and turned your ears to truth. That is where faith begins. Not in the world, but within. You are not too humble. You were just conditioned to play small. And now you remember that spiritual audacity is not arrogance. It's obedience. It's alignment. It's faith on fire. Let these final words settle into your heart like a new heartbeat. Everything is already happening for me. Everything I desire is part of my divine blueprint. I do not earn it, I allow it. I do not chase it, I claim it. I do not worry about how. I align with now, because now is unholy. Now is the only time where miracles can occur. And they do occur, because I live in the rhythm of grace, in the certainty of divine law, in the power of the spoken word. Say this with me, not just as a mantra, but as a command. I now receive what is mine by divine right. It comes quickly. It comes peacefully. It comes with no struggle and no delay. It comes because I have claimed it. It comes because I expect it. It comes because I give from it. And it comes because I trust. I trust not what I see, but what I know. I trust not the numbers, but the nature of God. I trust not the delays, but the design. I trust not in luck, but in law, because the law is never late. The law is never confused. The law is never inconsistent. It is perfect. It is just, and it works for me. You have crossed the line. And you don't go back. Not because you're afraid, because you've awakened. You've seen too much truth to go back to settling. You've felt too much power to go back to playing small. You've tasted too much overflow to go back to scarcity. You have broken the cycle. You have exited the illusion. You have upgraded your reality. And the world will now bend to match the truth you carry, not because you force it, but because you speak it. You carry spiritual authority. You are an agent of divine change. You are the proof that faith works. And now, I ask you not to wait for a confirmation. Be the confirmation. Not to wait for the door. Be the key. Not to wait for the invitations. Be the voice that commands entrance. Let your life be the sermon. Let your joy be the sign. Let your peace be the proof. Let your giving be the gateway. And let your words, your holy, audacious, beautifully spoken words, be the bridge between the invisible and the inevitable. So I bless you, dear one, with fearless faith. I bless you with holy boldness. I bless you with clarity so sharp that confusion disappears the moment it tries to enter. I bless you with peace that passes understanding, joy that disrupts fear, and confidence that carries heaven's echo. You are the one you were waiting for. And now, the world waits on you to walk in it. Join the movement. Share your word. Speak your truth. Use the tag Spiritual Audacity and let the ripple begin. Invite your friends to step into the current of miracles with you. Because this is not just your shift. It's a collective return to power. It's a revolution of faith, and it begins with you. Speak, walk, claim and rise.